Okay, today's episode brought to you by our Patreon, as Scott mentioned off the top, $4 a
Woot
month.
woot.
Gets you all the priority questions submitted for mailbag. Um, Today we have quite a bit of action from the Patreon. So first and foremost, Michael Meyer commented on our Zach Britton early access interview, which, by the way, is a good opportunity for us to mention the fact that as a perk for our Patreon, you do get early access to our interviews. And furthermore, we have quite a few more interviews coming up this week. We have
We
three lined
do.
up this week?
We do. So tomorrow morning, we talk to Ryan Boyer, pitcher with the New Hampshire Fisher Cats. We also talk with Troy Watson on Thursday morning. He is also a pitcher in the Blue Jays organization, most likely slated to start with AAA Buffalo Bison next season, but he may get the start at AA before being bumped up. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, two really good guys that we haven't had on the show before, so excited to talk to them there. And then looks like we've locked down a couple more prospects for next week as well. So this is the thing, right? Adam always needs to take the time to edit it, and when we release it, it tends to be 3 days to a week after the interview. So if you want that first hand access, Patreon is the way to do it, and then you have access literally minutes after we're finished doing the interview.
There you go. This is a fun little update here. I was pretty thrilled. John Dick finally got his Jose Barrios jersey.
So my goodness.
This was a contest we ran. We do run irregular promotions through our Patreon where we do giveaways. There was the baseball cards. I think Ian won that one. We had a Jose Barrios jersey, which I just stumbled across at a thrift store, and I was like, "Oh, this is phenomenal!" So John Dick got the freebie there, but then I sent it out. I'm pretty sure at the end.
I bet
of
you
September.
6 weeks ago, dude. Yeah.
And still hadn't ever got it. So we were getting ready to. We're trying to come up with another way to restore justice in a way, and get him a shirt or a mug or something. But anyways, Canada Post finally delivered the jersey yesterday, so we're off the hook. We just saved like $6 on merchandise. We're not gonna have to send John, so it's a win for us too. All right.
Canada Post, sometimes they deliver.
Yeah, that was the original slogan. They put it on the stamp, I think. Okay, and then last one here. This is a real comment. This one comes from Wyatt. It says, "Hey fellas, if you're doing a Monday mailbag, I have a couple easy ones for you. When is the next episode of Long Toss? I like hearing from Garth, Jen, and the others, and it seems like it's been a while since the last episode. So let's get
Which
to
was
that
a
one
message from
first."
Friday, correct?
Yeah, Friday or Saturday. So we did one on like a day later. So there you go. That worked out good.
Which is
Long
kind of
Toss.
cool, Adam, because it was, you know what, like we always did, for those of you who are new to the channel, we always did a long toss, we'd call it, which would be Sunday afternoon after the Jays game, and we would bring in content creators from different teams or from around baseball and would talk Blue Jays and baseball in general, and it's like a 2-hour long form type
Round
of
table.
show.
Yeah.
And we'd run it live on YouTube. So we would have commenters within the show, real time type of thing. And then we would re-release it on Monday morning. But obviously we're still trying to create content every single day here, but there just isn't enough happening in the baseball world for us to have justified doing Long Toss every single week. So we decided we'd do it a month, and it had been a while, and this was our first one since the season ended. And I was just blown away, dude, by how many people tuned in. Like we had close to 60 people live. And then we also had, I think we're pushing 1,000 views on YouTube. And I know we had audio people reaching out being like, make sure you post it on audio, because that is something we'll forget to do sometimes. But no, it's great to see the interest in it.
I do want to say 1,000 views doesn't sound like a lot, but for 1,000 people to sit, and I could check the algorithm on this, to sit through 2 hours of a show, that's significant, right? It's a lot easier for people to click on a 5-minute clip than it is to sit through a 2-hour show. So the fact
pretty
that we had
humbling.
1,000 people,
It's kind of cool.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
All right. So there's that. Anyways, long toss. We'll probably get to one in September or in December, and then maybe January, February. I think February was last year when we started doing them weekly as
Yeah,
the
and then
lockout
probably go
ended.
weekly in February.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I know
there
I
you go.
reached out to a friend of the show, Arden Zwelling of Sportsnet, and was trying to convince him to come on in December. And he was just like, boys, thank you so much for reaching out. Always love doing the show, but I am taking a stand on not doing anything for 6 weeks as
That's
it's been a
fair.
long baseball season, which is very
That's
fair.
fair.
And it was pretty cool to see Arden Zwelling too move up the ranks, man. Like we were watching him down on the field during the World Series interviewing guys,
Hmm.
which is pretty darn
Pretty
cool.
cool.
Like I really look forward to when we finally can have him back on and just pick his brain on that experience in general.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Last part here comes from Wyatt as well. When you guys close your eyes and say the words Toronto Blue Jays, who or what comes to mind? Show keeps getting better and better. Look forward to more off-season content. So thanks for the comment, Wyatt, and the support on Patreon as always.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto Blue Jays, Scott, who or what comes to mind for you?
So for me, when I was in grade 4, the Blue Jays won the World Series in 1992. And I just remember the class. I was in French immersion. It was a small class of about 15. And literally, it was Blue Jays all the time. It was insane. Grand Prairie, Alberta. And literally, everyone in the class wanted to talk about was Blue Jays baseball. And John Olerud was my absolute favorite. Like, I would have taken a bullet for the dude at 10 years old. I loved him so much. So for my birthday, my parents went out and they got a poster of Robbie Alomar and John Olerud, and then they had it mounted on a background. And give me 1 second here.
Ooh, are we going to get to see it?
But
Oh my gosh.
that's my Johnny O right there.
Ooh, very nice.
And honestly, this is literally this picture right here, this poster. When I think of the Toronto Blue Jays and close my eyes, that's what I visualize. How about yourself, buddy?
Whew, well, that's a much better story than I have to offer up.
I should have went last.
I
No.
should have went last. For me, I guess if I go back to childhood, it's those ugly black and silver and
This is
electric
what you
blue
visualize
jerseys.
when you
No. This is my childhood story from when I was younger, because I'm a little bit younger than you. So it's Eric
Yes.
Hinsky, it's Vernon Wells,
Right.
it's Orlando Hudson. It's those terrible, because this was like right around like the unveil of the new age logo, and
Mhm.
just like my frustration with how my favorite team in all of sports had my least favorite logo. And there was just such a conflict there internally. I love the
Yeah,
new
when
Blue Jays
when you were in the
uniforms, however.
same age era as I was, they were shipping out Delgado and Sean
Yes,
Green. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so it was a much different time to learn how to be a Blue Jays fan. I had heard about the championships that were won, before I was even in kindergarten.
Mhm.
Um, but alas, there it is. Um, yeah, there you go.
Feel free to drop a comment, by the way, gang, as to when you close your eyes, what you visualize when you see the Toronto Blue Jays. That's kind of a cool little exercise.
Ooh, I do have a good new favorite Blue Jays memory though. In this moment, it is watching the home run derby from a few years ago with my daughter, who was I think like 7 or 8 at the time,
Mhm.
and getting her amped up as Vladdy's hitting like 1,000 home
Bomb after
runs, just
bomb,
like
yeah.
nonstop, and she was so pumped and excited. I got a video of it. Maybe I'll throw it up in the Discord later. But yeah, pretty exciting times. I really hope he participates in the home run derby next year in Seattle.
It would be
That'd be
so
good.
cool. Yeah. We really appreciate all of you within the walk-off community. This thing continues to grow and become an animal of its own. It's a little bit overwhelming, but honestly, we love talking Blue Jays baseball and all the interaction that you folks are involved with us. Thank you so much. Discord, feel free to join it. That is always free. The show, or the link is in the show notes. You can follow us on Twitter at Walk Off Podcast, on Instagram, the Walk Off Podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube currently and you're not subscribed, we'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. All the best, everybody. Cheers.